All right. Thank you so much for joining today in the Miracle Mind. And the Miracle Mind is an interesting name actually, because it doesn't really totally cover what's happening here, of course. So it's like it's just a word in that sense. But I'm happy that you're here and that we can dive deep into one of the talks of Self-Master Teacher. That's one thing. And looking at the manual for teachers, some stages of your spiritual development, you could say, or stages of what you think say is so important for a moment, but then you find out it's actually not so important. So I'm not bringing that completely to the point yet. So I'm settling in together with you. Like, oh yeah, let's relax a little bit first. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's breathe, 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 relax. Oh yeah. So no accomplishment, no anything like that. Just coming closer to a recognition. Like, oh yeah, wait a minute. This moment is already perfect. It doesn't need anything extra. I don't need to make it to something. So I die in my attempt. Like, oh, forget it, forget it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make it happen here. And it's just so liberating. It's so great to experience that all the time, to sink in it. No, this is not it. No, 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 no. Don't even try anything. Let go, let go. Breathe. Ah, breathe. Yeah, better. Ah. So what do I have to add to this present moment? Nothing. Nothing. This moment that is given is already perfect. I don't need to make it to something. So why do we even come to this place then to meet? Well, to remember that. That's all. And when you remember it, great. You have a wonderful time. Like a wonderful time in the sense of, yeah, it wouldn't matter what you were doing or where you were, you take that with me. So as if still there needs to be a lot of say, and of course this is, yeah, we'll see where that ends up. But of course you're still thinking that, and there needs to happen a lot before this moment can be perfect. Like, yeah, that's what keeps us busy. That's what we think, like the process that we're going through, thinking that we need to do that first in order for this moment to be perfect. No, that's not the reason why we do that. So the reason we're actually going through a process is because we're actively denying that this moment is perfect. Like the recognition of you, if I recognize you completely, I remember that I'm one with you. I feel myself completely connected to you, loving you completely, wholly. I'm letting this moment be perfect. Like, absolutely. As soon as I get an idea about you or an idea about what I'm going to do with you, then I'm stuck in something. That's just what happens. I release that, whether that's immediately, whether that's after 10 years or 15 years or 20 or maybe 60 years, I release it and I'm free again. Like, ah, yeah, okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, no ideas. I don't want to get anything in between a space that doesn't exist. Like, I don't want to impose anything. I don't want to oppose anything either. I'm, say, learning, in fact, to let this moment be perfect. Is that heaven on earth? Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm not trying to do anything. No, I just allow myself to have the experience to let this moment be perfect. That's a whole different story. So that's why it's so, yeah, I can say, like, it's not a doing, it's an undoing. You have to step back. It's like a very, yeah, a receptive attitude, you could say. It's very, in that sense, very feminine. It's very feminine. It's not like, okay, we can do this, we're gonna, no, not at all. So it's not very masculine as in that type of action, you know. No, now it's, you receive this. You let this just come over you. You receive this. You're not resisting it. You're letting it happen. And what do you let happen? To allow what already is. And that's in fact all. What is, and the rest is not. So that feels really good, doesn't it? So just to breathe and relax into this, it's like, that's so lovely. It's so lovely. So yeah, let's start from this point. Let's see what happens. It's like a different space altogether, isn't it? So it's a different space. Receptivity, openness, relaxation. Yeah, it's great. So now in this process of allowing this moment to be whole and perfect, you go through all kinds of stuff. So one of them is first that you think, well, yeah, and how about this and how about that? And I'm not supposed to, like, now I can't do this, or now I can't do that, or so it can come with an idea of sacrifice that you think, you're gonna miss out on something by having this attitude of stepping back and relaxing into the perfect moment, thinking that you're gonna lose something, or who knows what you are thinking. So in the manual for teachers, say part 3 of the Ur-text, we look at this, just looking at, okay, so how are we actually developing? How am I developing my trust in what's going on? Do I trust my brother? Do I trust what is given as a new idea? Say, can I trust it to open myself up completely to what is already there? So there are certain things that might pop up in your awareness when I say this, and it is like, yeah, this is exactly what that process is. The process of sorting out, of relinquishment, of maybe even having a phase of quite peacefully, having some time where it's actually pretty peacefully, not too much conflict, pretty nice. And then suddenly, whambo, something changes again, and it's like, wow, whatever happened before, it seems like it has nothing to do with now anymore. There's a great disruption going on. Now, all these phases are actually given in description, and for sure you're gonna recognize it. So the last time we went through the first 3, I will repeat parts of it, and then we move on to the 4th and the 5th. The 4th and the 5th stage in this. It's not important to remember it, but it's just a fun part to recognize it. That's why I'm sharing it. So I'm going to pull up the PDF. So 3rd stage. So the 2nd stage was here. Okay, we must go through a process of sorting out. That was number 2, you could say. And then we have a period of relinquishment. The 3rd stage through which the teacher of God must go can be called a period of relinquishment. If this is interpreted as giving up the desirable, it will engender enormous conflict. And few teachers of God escape this distress entirely. So that's a phase you might recognize too. It's like a relinquishment. Yeah, okay, so I put value in this world. I put value on how I think relationships should be, or how this world should be, or what my income should be, or what I'm going to do with my life, and what I need for that. Now, say, letting that go, or giving that up, that whole idea, can really feel like a sacrifice, like yeah, it can engender enormous conflict, as it says here. So almost everyone has some bit of that, like leading to some real intensity, you could say, having trouble letting that go, the desirable. If you see it as the desirable giving up, yeah, you're not going to do that until you have to, right? Something like this. So the third step can only begin if the second step has completed. And the second step was the one of, say, sorting out. So what is valuable? What is not valuable? What is helpful in my undoing? And what is not helpful? Yeah, how does it actually work? Okay, so at a certain point, he comes to a period of settling down. You see here at B6. Now comes a period of settling down. This is a quiet time in which the teacher of God rests a while in reasonable peace, whatever that means. Now he consolidates his learning. Now he begins to see the transfer value of what he has learned. Its potential is literally staggering. And the teacher of God is now at the point in his progress as which he sees in it his whole way out. Suddenly you recognize, oh my God, this is it. I can completely commit myself to this. I completely trust that that path that I'm on, and I'm going for it. Give up what you do not want and keep what you do. How simple is the obvious and how easy to do. The teacher of God needs this period of respite. He has not yet come as far as he thinks. So it's like, okay, this is a period of pretty peaceful, yeah, that's going pretty good. Yeah. Up to the next phase then. So in the next stage is indeed a period of unsettling. Now the teacher of God understands he did not really know what was valuable and what was valueless. All that he learned so far was that he did not want the valueless and that he did want the valuable. You came that far. But the sorting out of what is actually helpful for that and what isn't is still like in the air. So that makes it a period of unsettling. You don't know anything. You have no idea what would be the best for you. You start to come to the admission of that. So we continue here. He must learn to lay all judgment aside and ask only what he really wants in every circumstance. Were not each step in this direction so heavily reinforced, it would be hard indeed. That is a period of unsettling. So you must learn to lay all judgment aside. Literally, like you stay in your uncertainty, you have no idea what's the best for you. You give up every idea of that all the time. Otherwise, you have no foot to stand on, you could say. So finally, there's a period of achievement. It is here that learning is consolidated. And now what was seen as merely shadows before become solid gains to be counted on in all so-called emergencies as well as tranquil times. Indeed, the tranquility is their result, the outcome of honest learning, consistency of thought and full transfer. This is the stage of real peace, for here is heaven's state fully reflected. From here the way to heaven is open and easy. In fact, it is here. Who would go anywhere if peace of mind is already complete? Just looking if there's another phase. No, there's no other phase. And who would seek to change tranquility for something more desirable? What could be more desirable than this? Okay. This is how I started our meeting today, by bringing in the idea. Oh wait, I have to do it something, maximize. So I shared this with you. It's like exactly here. Why would you let this moment be disturbed by anything if it's already perfect? What do you think it's missing? What is missing in this moment? Nothing. Yeah, I can come up with things that I think I need in order to complete my experience of myself, but in fact it is given here. Here's your heaven on earth. Here's your freedom. What else are you gonna do? So the mind gets very creative if it comes to terms like with truth. It starts doing things. Like in your undoing, you could say in the undoing of your ideas about yourself, you see that you go through periods of unsettling, of relative peace, of sorting out what is helpful. I have to take a look at what I'm doing because I don't know. This did not work. This did not work, and on and on and on. So seeing that you go through these phases and seeing that this is what is going on, you come to the point where you actually see like, yeah, I'm totally dedicated to following exactly the instruction, in fact, that is given, or following this what gives me fulfillment, returning back to that on a daily basis, giving everything to it. Basically it becomes your life. And now the next step is then, okay, I have no idea. I'm completely open to receive this moment as it is. I and this moment as it is. Like there's no exception. There seems to be an emergency, I'll still come back to this. Like I'm not going to let my peace be disturbed by anything. Now, there will be situations that you think are exceptions to this. So that's very interesting. But you learn how to deal with that too. And even into the most amazing emergencies, where every button that's pushed, you could say, as a human being, where every one of your buttons is pushed with, okay, you got to take action now, you got to do this, you got to solve this, and still you can go back to your peace and let it go and see that it is not the way that it looked like before. No, it's not at all like that. It doesn't need to disturb the peace or the love that I feel for my brother. It does not have to disturb that. I can be free of that disturbance. Now, so this is great. And see, the wonderful thing in this process that we're in together, you could say, is that we help each other with that. In very original and perfectly sized situations, ways, and specific circumstances, and all kinds of ways. Like literally, that brings the juice in the whole process. And the way that this is set up is literally to bring you to all the places that need healing, that need another moment, that will unsettle you, that will bring you into, say, places inside yourself, places in your mind, places in your idea about yourself that you didn't look, that you could see as an exception to this perfection of this moment, thinking that something needs to be adjusted in order for it to be perfect. Now this we hear probably too in the talk of Master Teacher, but certainly we're going to take a look at some of the expressions that he used in one of the earlier talks. And I'm using this just purely for deepening. You know, it's great to have the miracle principles, like we will use them today, the miracle principles next to what we're doing, only reminding us of the process that you're in and how to deal with it and how you can look at it so that it can easily be released. Because if you, say, deal with your own situation and you think you know what's the best for you, you know what happens. Like you know where you get yourself into, or you don't know where you get yourself into. Leading you, bringing you to the same spot where you started. Now these loops are mostly painful, or can give you great distress. Now, to speed up that process is where the miracle principles are for, to remind you, hey, wait a minute, it's not the way it looks. Here, listen to this, boom. And suddenly it's like, oh, now I see it. Oh, no, wow, amazing. I don't have to do that. Or I don't have to look at it this way. Or, yeah, on and on. Like there's so much given in that sense. So if you stay with this, if you keep practicing this, it's my experience, like it you can still come in all kinds of situations that you think like, well, this is not peace. Or, yes, I am triggered by someone that seems to be very annoying to me at this point. Like that can still happen, but it doesn't take that long. It brings you quicker back to, oh yeah, I can take another look at this. Like I can look at this in a different way and see actually that nothing is changed in what I feel for my brother. It did not change. And in that sense, I can still render my brother perfect, or I can still see the perfection of this moment, or the love, the love for my brother in all of it. Now that return is so joyous and so freeing that why not practice it? So this is the speed up for that. Oh, that's great. Wow. So I'm going to show you some of the expressions. I put probably 3 or so miracle principles with the commentary of Master Teacher. Yeah, here it is. Glasses. Immediately tempted. We come to that in a second. So what happens? You're immediately tempted is the, say, the phenomena, you could say, after you have a release where you remember, oh yeah, I don't have to do this. So then it's like after that there can be an immediate temptation happening that brings you right back into situations. But we'll come to that in a second. So miracles, miracles are everyone's right, because they are the right of a whole mind. But purification is necessary first. You have to do what? In your own body association, examine the defense mechanisms that you have used to establish your limited reality. Miracles will not work unless you forgive. They cannot work when you don't forgive. If there is a sin or a sickness outside of you that you are not the cause of, the miracle obviously won't work, because it is not under the control of your own mind. That is a fact. So miracles are everyone's right. It's not only yours, it's everyone's right. It's a recognition of your oneness with your brother. So you will have to forgive, and you have to see him as he is, if just for a moment, or allow that to occur. So if you perceive sin, lack of limitation, sickness, so-called outside of you, you're missing it. And the miracle won't happen, because you literally have already a set perception of the situation, you could say. Miracles are healing because they supply a lack. And you are lacking here. They are performed by those, that's another miracle principle, they are performed, the miracles are performed by those who temporarily have more, for those who temporarily have less. That's a fact. So miracles are healing because they supply a lack. And you are lacking here in your limited ideas about yourself, thinking that this moment isn't perfect, that you need to do something in order to make it perfect, or that you certainly are not perfect, or your brother certainly is not perfect. See, there's a lack in that. You perceive a lack. Now here, if I come from my whole-minded true perception, I have something to bring into this situation. I'm recognizing that yes, no, don't let yourself be fooled by your perception. No, that's not it. No, here's a moment. Here, look at this. Look at this. This moment is perfect. I cannot convince you of it, but let go of your idea about the situation and you suddenly will see how perfect this is. So that is a fact. This coming to peace and serenity that you are undergoing in your mind will be a great assistance to the thought forms that are in your chaotic association. Yeah, but he talks certainly in a certain language, right? These are the words of Master Teacher. So this coming to peace and serenity that you're undergoing in your mind, as we saw also in the say teacher's manual, so you go through different phases. So if there is one that can bring you back to the realization of, hey, wait a minute, you don't have to do anything. You only have to get out of the way for this moment to be perfect. Your great ideas are not going to add anything to this. So let go, step back, boom. There's the miracle. The peace that you are feeling in the miracle of your mind is literally communicative. So the moment, you could say, the moment that you let go of your ideas of what is necessary to make this moment complete, or how to fix your brother so he will be complete, is literally, it literally brings you into a moment of communication as soon as you give up that idea and say, allow space for the miracle to happen. The consciousnesses that will come around you will suddenly begin to feel real good because they have brought about in their mind a change in who they are through your non-resistance of your association with them in the falsity. And you are establishing godly or holy relationships with each other. Isn't that lovely? Miracles are a kind of exchange. Why? They need to be acknowledged. The moment you would acknowledge your brother as a whole living Son of God, you will become that, because he is a reflection of your mind. Yes, that is so. I will have that holy. So it's like the moment you would acknowledge your brother as a whole living Son of God, if you recognize who he is, you will become that. You recognize it in your brother, you see it in everyone, also in yourself. See, like there's no conflict. I only have to let this be whole in order for me to see it. Like all expressions of love, which are always miraculous in the true sense, the exchange reverses the physical laws. They bring more love both to the giver and receiver. Physical laws demand that you keep separate from each other and identify yourself through the separation of each other. A miracle says, no, we are as God created us, holy. I will not judge you in my own mind, and you must change because I have changed my mind about myself and subsequently about you. It is impossible that this not be so. So it exchanges the physical laws. Like all expressions of love, which are always miraculous in the true sense, the exchange reverses the physical laws. I love that. Okay, so I'm stopping right here just for a moment to breathe. I don't want to bombard you with good news. Like I gotta take time to digest this, to receive this. So we come back to this, like, okay, this is not an achievement. It is not that you have to do a lot or have to whatever. No. So the things, like the recognition of it, is the acknowledgement, and that this possibility is there. Like, yeah, I'm seeing you wholly. I'm completely seeing you wholly. I have no other ideas about you. Now, what happens? That changes everything. It changes everything because now I can actually love you. I recognize myself in you because I recognize that we are connected, that there's only one of us in that sense. Like that's so yeah, that's all this is about, in fact. It's like the recognition that nothing happened, that you don't have to change anyone in order to experience this. No, you have to give up trying. You have to give up doing that. You don't need to do anything for it. But when it happens, when this miracle happens, it is so great to acknowledge it and see that it works. It's like that is really lovely and sweet to share with one another. So there's a literal change in the physical laws taking place because you don't have to defend yourself any longer. Like it melts everything. So why would that not change the whole physical order? Even your body will feel completely different by doing so. It's like, yeah, this is a possibility to experience peace and relaxation instead of thinking that you need to watch out or you need to do this or do that in order for it to make it happen or make it possible. No. Relax. No. So that's so lovely. That's so lovely. All right, I think this is a great introduction to the tape that we're going to listen to. Now, this tape that we're going to listen to is a specific part, say the fourth part from the second part from the word. Yeah, so we're just going to listen to it and see what happens. So the title of the little part of the tape, this is all coming from the same tape. That's why the whole chapter is made of, you could say. It's Introducing A Course in Miracles, Scripture of Resurrected Man. So this is another segment of 15 minutes or so from that. And let's relax and listen to that. So I'm putting it on the screen here. So it's 17 minutes.
I don't mean to be so dramatic. You're beautiful. Can you do that? That'll give us another 3 hours. That'll give us all of eternity. Will that be okay? Is that all right? Well, is it okay if I do that? All right. We'll have a little doubtless. Oh, that's doubtless. Hi, doubtless. Listen, one more time. Communication is only with the mind. What really happens in here is you guys are communicating non-perceptually in spirit with me. As soon as you quit defining each other, you begin to love. It's not objective, it's just a statement of how passionate you feel about yourself. You just feel good. You come around this energy and you start to feel real good. I want to encourage you that it's okay to feel real good. If you keep feeling good and don't try to define a reason why you feel good, you'll feel perfectly. Because there's no reason why you feel good. You can't have happiness. You can only be happy. Okay? Got that? You can't have emotions. You can only be them. When you are happy for no reason at all. If you're totally happy, because there's no reason for happiness, it's a condition of whole mind. All right? We'll have a little music in about 15 minutes, and then I'll see you guys all at 1:30. Okay? There it is. There's music. Open up these channels. You're wide open here now. Try not to judge the demonstrations here, guys. You can use this energy that's being asserted by these new consciousnesses as part of your atonement if you won't look at them as human beings and try to judge them. You utilize this power that's being asserted here in this new dedication. Let that be your wholeness. This is your resurrection. Okay. The associations of the Course in Miracles extended realities are thrilled at the idea that the Course is going to be taught. You have an idea of the joy in heaven. You can feel it if you'd like to. This is the whole Christ principle of 2,000 years. This is the Easter, isn't it? These are all of the persecutions, the Spanish Inquisitions, and all of the other things that have done with your attack are being asserted by Master Jesus here in this. The heretic returning home, his determination to seek through his own transformation the reality. The Christian, we call him, the Christian. Born again. The tomb is empty. That's it. How much will you be attacked for teaching this? Not too much, are you? You're teaching love and forgiveness. It's pretty hard to attack you for this. They may think you're crazy for making a spiritual commitment, but what do you care? You think this is a crazy place where people get sick and die. Okay? They're separate. You're allowed. They'll let you go. Just love and be whole. It will work fine. Coming home. Can I do that? Too old for this. much for 82. This is renewal of your body into its whole facilitation. Do you see that?
So you see, it's like not many words, but say an invitation to join with the frequency for one thing, and also it's like non-judgmental approach. You could say it like whatever happens, whatever, however that sounds like, it is still me waking up. Like this is my release of waking up, and however that looks, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So it's great to recognize, oh yeah, in order to say arrive, in order for me to be aware of what's actually going on, I have to release this idea about myself and others. I say, not let it disturb my peace, let it go, and allow some healing to occur in me, in which I recognize how great is it, and this is, say, to melt into the love that I am, and to melt into not knowing how this is supposed to look, or how you're supposed to behave, or what to think about it, or whatever. Like that in itself is creating a space in your mind where this can actually take place, which is what we're practicing, to let this moment be perfect. I'm saying it like this to make it easy, in fact. So the miracle is really like the past and the future are reversed even. Like forget about it. The past is over, future not there yet. Future is just as much over as is the past. Now here we are, coming together, meeting in this point. What is here? Like here's nothing. So how can we possibly meet? Well, it has nothing to do with your ideas about it. So here's a space that is completely open and will bring you immediately into peace. For just a moment, you can experience peace. Or you can stay there if you want. It's like, what would take you away from this? Now, this is exactly what I will share with you in the next couple of sheets that I have. Because, okay, now you have your moment in which you experience peace, like the miracle actually happened. So here it is. I'm in this moment. I have no ideas about it. I have no ideas about my brother. I forgave my brother. Here am I, an open, communication, feeling really great about this, that this occurred. Finally release some of the burden that I was carrying with me for a long time. Now what happens? So I'll share that with you, not to conceptualize what is going on, not to share more concepts about it. No, just for the speed up. That was the idea. It's like just for the speed up, and the speed up is then not falling into the very obvious temptation of what happens when you experience the miracle. The use of miracles, this is we're getting to it. It's not here right now. So the use of miracles as spectacles to induce belief is a misunderstanding of their purpose. Obviously, that is the magic of it, isn't it? Excuse me. You can do that, sure. Can you authenticate the power of your mind? Yes, but not the full power of it. That cannot be authenticated. You can do much more than you pretend to. You can do everything. Moving mountains is the least you can do. You're always being tempted by the devil, aren't you? So here's the temptation coming in a little bit. So it's like why would you want to use miracles as an, say, form of magic, that you can literally let a cancer disappear, or that you can have somebody win the lottery ticket, winning the lottery by giving him the right numbers for the ticket or something like this? It's like, well, if you want to work like that, it's like that would be in fact, the opposite of what it actually entails. So that's not a miracle, but that's working magic. And there's no, that's another delay, you could say. You undergo this enlightenment occasion. You are baptized by John, you could say. You have a little enlightenment. You feel the release of your identity for just a second. You experience light, and what happens? You are immediately tempted by the devil, which is, of course, just in you, an idea in you. The human mind in you could be seen as the devil. So it's like you are tempted by your conceptual mind to use that power in the limitation, as to make yourself great, or to do anything with it, to impress with it, or to do who knows what. This is Jesus in the desert for 40 days, with the devil saying, throw yourself off the pinnacle. Let God save you. Like, let me see that. Let me see you working these powers. All of the things you are tempted to use this power of your mind for, and always have been. Like, you've always been using your power to show something to whoever. And there's no necessity for that. It's like it's a dead-end road. But see, the thought is there. So it's good to remember that. It's like the thought cannot leave you, because it's literally also part of you. Like, in your human thoughts are still with you no matter what happens. Also when you experience a miracle. Also, it's like also when you are in fact experiencing your wholeness. So what is the next thing? I said this before as an example. Like, I have a great experience of communication. Suddenly I get one thought. I'm hungry. So you start to build a world. I have to get myself to a fridge. I need to create a world to come to a fridge that is filled, that has something for me to eat. So because I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? It's like, even that is, you could say, is a temptation. And like, you think you need something. You think that something is not complete here. Now this is just something that is being mentioned here in the talk of Master Teacher. And just that you know, like this, not to carry another concept in your mind, but more like, oh yeah, the human mind, ideas leave not their source. That is still in me, even though I can say let it creating space in my mind for the miracle. I can still do that, but my thoughts are in my mind, say, on in the background, you could say. In other words, you can't get rid of them. They will appear, and you will have to deal with them in the sense of, yeah, I'm not going to engage with that thought, or yes, indeed, I'm going to eat. I hope this is clear. I don't know. So it's like, the thing is with this is like, seeing that this moment is perfect is great. So you see it for a moment. You see, like, yes, of course, this moment is perfect. What could possibly be missing? And then here you have your thoughts coming in. Suddenly, you need something. You perceive a lack. So it's like, all right, yeah, there you go again. So it's like you let yourself be taken out of this alignment with truth, you could say, and thinking that you otherwise would miss something, right? No, that's in fact the point I wanted to share with you. Yeah. So looking back at what we have done, you go in your transformation through all kinds of stages. One is relinquishment, one is, say, sorting out of things, relinquishment, a bit of settlement that you think like, everything is working really fine. I'm applying the teaching, I'm using my path really intensively, and I see the fruits of it. I see that it really works. And whambo, there's a distraction, an emergency that comes out of a corner that you didn't see coming, and suddenly you're in a big change again. And now you learn to deal with that, and you move through this to the next phase again by recognizing, I have no idea how to respond to any of this. I have no idea how to stay in this present moment. I have no idea how to do any of these things. If I have ideas about it, I know those are not the ones that are going to help me. So I'm releasing that. And in the practice of that, I'm actually finding, say, a peace that is as a constant for me whenever I decide to stay with that and not let myself be distracted. So, yeah, I think I got it now. Thank you so much for being present here today. I hope this is helpful to you, and thank you for everything, and stay right here. Thank you so much.